Good evening. Today we're reading a book, The Chalice and the Blade. In this book, it discusses how goddesses used to rule the ancient civilization and societies, and how it was almost utopian with women rulers. And then there became the male-dominant societies based off of conquerors who came through and destroyed civilizations. So there was a people, Atlantis was one of these ancient cultures. It was a land of peace. And all the Neolithic peoples were all very peaceful. And what you see in cave drawings and pottery and art from back then has been misinterpreted as like people standing with spears or with swords, when it's really they're holding tools and instruments to farm and to harvest. And in these societies, based off of artifacts that have been dug up, it's been the case where they worship the women, and every woman is seen as a goddess, the creator of life. So think about what God is. Creates life, teaches how life is supposed to be. And women create life. They're the nurturers, they're the ones that educate the children. The guys just go out there and give them the tools that they need to continue to do this. And then along with that, it's there was no hierarchy. Women weren't above men, men weren't above women. Everybody was equal. So it's just interesting to read that about the ancient cultures, and then seeing that there was a group of people that came from Europe out of nowhere, which is like what a lot of history talks about. There was this random group of people. Europe came from the hills and the caves. Just barbaric savages and just creating chaos. And they ended up establishing the male-dominant societies and cultures and beliefs. And they got rid of all female deities, all the goddess beliefs. The whole worship of women has been just gone. And if you look at society today, the ones really dictating and being in charge of how we run our societies. Look at what color they are. Look at the owners of the world. What color are they? What beliefs are they giving you? What are they putting on your TV, on your news, in your movies, in your history books? What are they feeding you? What was the one thing that they did to the slaves to conquer them? They broke down the male, but they also took the female. They made the female want and need the white slave masters. That was who they looked to for help and support, because their men couldn't do anything. The men were destroyed, beaten, battered, fucking raped. Call it barebacking, bear bucking, something like that. Where the white slave masters would rape the men in front of the wife and kids to prove a point that they run this. And if you want to survive, or if you want anything of value and a decent life and not to be killed, I'm the one in charge, not your husband. Some fucked up shit. When there were lynchings back in the from the very beginning, from like 1800s up to like the 1960s, 70s, when they would lynch black people, or so-called black people, so-called Negroes. The white people would take home pieces of flesh as souvenirs, and they always cut off the genitalia. Why? Things to think about. But this book is really opening my eyes. It's not really... This book is really opening my eyes to understanding the power of a woman. And why when you talk to enlightened beings, people that have been awoken, conscious, they always refer to God as a woman. They always say she. And I always was wondering about that. I wasn't iffy, but I was just like, why do they always refer to God as a she? If there is a God, if there's a supreme being, why is it a she? Because God, in my knowledge, is just the universe. It accounts for everything that happens and what will happen. But if you were to attribute God-like features and, like, not features, but actions and just the way people, a being is, somebody is, the closest thing to God is a woman. Now, who else can create life? But you look at scientists today, and they're finding all kinds of ways in labs to create life and manipulate DNA and do all this extra stuff. But nothing can come close to what a woman can do. And then the original woman who created life from the very beginning, it's not about race. We're a human race. We're all one people. No. It came from somewhere. That's why the spiritual attachment, the whole metaphysical aspect, is what it is with all the ancient cultures before white people got involved. Because melanin gives you that extension to the universe, the spirit realm. White people don't have that gift. They don't have it. They try, they seek it. They conquer cultures that have that gift, destroy them, and then try to reteach it in a way that the rest of their kind can understand it when they really don't get it. So, anyway, reading this book, and it just really makes you appreciate women and to hold them as the true goddesses and queens that they really are. Because I think that is a forgotten thing in our current society and cultures. So, yeah. Stay up. Stay well. Go read a fucking book.